In today's news, Marine Task Force to look at charter fees increase issue. Lorna Smith against immigration and customs coming under the governor. BVI engages the UK on constabulary report. Joint tourism opportunities are available. Sewage leak in Road Town raises issues. Remove sewage system in the heart of Road Town, says a resident. And Lions Club of Tortola is set to raffle a 2025 Hyundai Grand. We have the details of this and much more when Tweet 4 News returns.
Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman by yours truly, Ron Grant, presents Season 7. Introducing Travi Rose, Creative Director. Alex Lake, Businessman. Sean Black, Cinematographer. Dakari Wheatley Adams, Content Creator. Donandre Millwood, Educator and Musician. Hashim Dream, Entertainer. James Todman Sr., Contractor. Dr. Albert Tompkins, Psychotherapist. Walter Barrett, Author. Rakim Todman, Producer and Engineer. Kamal Letson, Photographer. Roosevelt Smith III, Sales Manager and Hospitality Professional. Leland Abraham, IT Technician and Cybersecurity Analyst. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 7, every Wednesday at 8 p.m., exclusively on 284 Media. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redefine yourself through the stories of real-life heroes. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 7, Raising a Generation of Greatness. Voted Top 35 Gentleman Podcast worldwide by FeedSpot and BI Icon Award winner.
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Wednesday, April 16th, 2025. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you all the very latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. A happy Wednesday's wish to all. Thank you so much for joining us. Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley and U.S. Virgin Islands Governor Albert Bryan Jr. have agreed to form a Marine Task Force to look at policy issues as they seek to navigate the complexities surrounding charter fee increases. The two leaders met for a second round of talks Tuesday, 15th April, within the Virgin Islands, and the leaders announced that they made some concessions without specifying. That is, Premier Wheatley said he was pleased with Governor Bryan's level of understanding of the BVI's need to increase the fees.
The discussions were excellent in my view. We decided, of course, that we would form a Marine Task Force to take a closer look at policy and regulatory issues. You know, I made a real commitment to ensuring that the boaters that come from the United States Virgin Islands, that they're processed more quickly, and that we use technological solutions at our disposal to ensure that the boaters, our friends from the USVI, they have maximum access. So instead of waiting in lines at our ports, they're on the beach at White Bay or at the Bats having a good time. And beyond that, I want to see how we can come closer together and ensure that the economic prosperity is grown, that the pie is grown for us, and that we can effectively compete with other jurisdictions by the quality of the service and that persons get value for money. So all in all, of course, we've decided that discussions will continue, but I would say that we've agreed probably about 95% of what's needed to be agreed. We did make some level of concessions based on friendship and, based on the robust negotiation from the USVI. We have made some concessions, and possibly there may be more concessions to come once we go back and we crunch the numbers. But all in all, I'm very pleased. Just the spirit of friendship that has been displayed today.
Governor Bryan believes the negotiations were done fairly, and he sees why the cost needs to be increased.
when we talk about the negotiation, a couple of things we were concerned about: fair, competitive, and then efficiency. Fair in terms of what does it cost to operate a charter business in the Virgin Islands, U.S., and then versus the BVI. And when we look at the numbers, an average charter boat, not even company, is contributing like $40,000 annually to the government compared to the Virgin Islands, where that number is probably hovering around $26,000. So as you can see, there's a competitive advantage already for our charter vessels. And it really isn't fair for us to be able to send a boat over to the BVI unlimited, and their charter boats who are nestled there, employ people who work there, eating there, getting rents there, they're having the same amount of payment as a U.S. Virgin Islands. So we looked at an option where there is unlimited access, but there's a cost for that. And I think that negotiation went back and forth, but we settled on a number that I think both of us can live with. The other thing we wanted to make sure is it's competitive. As we move forward, what is our strategy for the charter boat business? We want to grow our business certainly in a way that creates opportunities for our local people to work, but certainly to bring in dollars, maximum dollars as possible. Because we are not competitors. We actually are collaborators. We both agree that the U.S. Virgin Islands is a product of the BVI tourism, and BVI is a product of the USVI tourism. Without their charter boat industry, without our airports, we're not as attractive. And we want sailors to come to the Greater Virgin Islands, not to go to St. Martin, Anguilla, or Puerto Rico. So competitive, we want to make sure that we stay competitive in the market. And finally, efficient. To Premier's point, we don't want people sitting in customs lines. We want them on the beach. We want them having a great experience, entry and exit into our ports. So one of the things that I think is great is the computerization. Everybody's electronic now, making sure that people can get in and get out in a quick way. They can pay electronically, which puts money in the government's coffers much quicker. Those are the kind of things we want. So what we want to do is have some government people, have some industry people on this Marine Council to talk about improvements in the system and how we can make it better every single step of the way. But that all starts with conversation, and certainly we understand what it means about budget shortfall, that these monies are not just arbitrary monies, but these are monies that are needed to pave roads, build schools, create infrastructure, water lines, sewer. Small island economy is incredibly difficult. The BVI does not have a $23 billion rebuild package like we do, so we are very cognizant of that and know that if we share, it all comes out for the best. So thank you, Premier, for coming over today, and your team. I think it was a great meeting, and we look for great things in the future.
Junior Minister of Financial Services, the Honorable Lorna Smith, OBE, says that she understands the reason made in the report made on law enforcement agencies in the BVI to have a merger between the Customs and Immigration Department, but she is against the entity being placed under the governor. Smith's comments were made on the program Talking Points Monday as she discussed contents in Volume 2 of the UK-based report. She says while the intention of the recommendation is to stop the plight of illegal immigration and immigrants to the territory, she believes the Premier should maintain responsibility over both entities.
So a lot of these people come here not just to stay here, I mean, they might even get a work permit, but their intention is to move to the United States Virgin Islands, sure, and perhaps to the United States. Mm-hmm. And so for this reason, it is very important that we protect our borders. We also, as all of you know, every year spend close to $1 million in repatriating people to Haiti and beyond, which is a lot of money for a small country to be paying every year. And it is one of the reasons why the government has decided to build, I believe, a detention center. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the reasons for combining immigration and customs are pretty clear. My problem with it is that it does not have to come within the authority of the governor. I know that for all the years that I've known myself in government, and it is a lot of years, I have always known immigration, both immigration and the customs, to come within the purview, under the purview of a minister. And at the moment, both of them fall within the purview of the Premier. And so I see no reason for that to change. I believe the proposal is that he should collect the revenue. I may have suggested that, but that the responsibility be held by the governor. I see no reason for that.
Up next, we have much more coming up. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
At Higher BVI, we're not just about business. We're about empowering lives, and that is because we aspire to inspire. By choosing us, you're supporting a company that believes in equal opportunities, diversity, and community growth. Our mission goes beyond profit. It's about providing HR solutions, fostering talent, and leaving a positive impact. Join us in building a better future, a better BVI. Choose Higher BVI, where your support isn't just a transaction, it's a transformation. Together, we're changing lives in these beautiful Virgin Islands.
Yo, everything good there?
Why? This thing got me one way, daddy.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you, you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know, I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hooked, I tell you.
Just give me my service. Yeah. Just give me my service.
Just give me my service.
Make the switch to CCT and get connected today. Unlimited talk, text, and data. Visit any CCT store or call us at 444-4444. CCT, Life Unlimited.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you all so much for sticking with us. Premier Dr. the Honourable Natalia D. Wheatley says the BVI will work constructively alongside the UK government and governor in a modern partnership to drive progress, but will not compromise on the territory's demographic and democratic and constitutional rights. In a statement, the Premier says the House of Assembly has reviewed the report on law enforcement agencies in the BVI with due seriousness and has engaged with the UK's Inspectorate of Constabulary and Fire and Rescue Services through the inspection process. Now, in the spirit of collaboration and cooperation on discussions within this report, the Premier says the report itself has several practical, detailed suggestions and observations that they will consider, but it also has many that they must reject categorically. Premier Wheatley says the safety of citizens is paramount. Equally, the legal and regulatory stability of this jurisdiction is at the heart of its appeal as a leading international finance center. He says the government of the Virgin Islands cannot accept its mischaracterization of the institution and the situation on island, nor the characterization of citizens, its talents and capabilities. Also, he says the territory cannot accept the lack of recognition for the dramatic progress the territory has made to strengthen its governance and institutions, especially since the fieldwork for this report was undertaken in 2023. Premier Wheatley says government has already taken significant steps to tackle crime, including financial crime, as part of the radical range of reforms it has undertaken at considerable cost, responding to both the Commission of Inquiry and the CFATF Mutual Evaluation Report. Now, in his statement, viewers, Premier Wheatley further says the government cannot accept the overarching premise that it must cede more power to the UK government, eroding its self-governance. He says the governor already has constitutional responsibility for the security of the territory, which is exactly the subject of criticism in this report. Now, according to the Premier, to accept this premise would also represent submitting to colonial overarching and overreach, and represent a retrograde step for democracy within the British Virgin Islands. He says as a united House of Assembly, they will systematically assess the recommendations in the report with due rigor to determine which they will take forward to benefit the BVI and which they will formally reject. And this, he says, government will be making clear its response to the governor and the UK government. At Seatrade Cruise Global 2025 in Miami, regional leaders gathered to discuss the future of the cruise industry, focusing on tourism opportunities, environmental sustainability, and port infrastructure. The BVI booth, of course, attracted the attention of key figures. Jason Charles, chairman of the West Indies Company Limited. Now, during the event, Charles sat down with Minister for Communications and Works, the Honorable Kai M. Reimer, alongside Junior Minister of Culture and Tourism, the Honorable Luce Hodges-Smith, to explore how collaboration could help the territories better serve the growing number of cruise passengers arriving within the region.
Well, Minister, you know, we have such a good personal relationship. Yeah. But let me, since we're on record, I'm going to say, Minister, Honorable Minister Reimer, it's a pleasure to invite me to your booth again this year. It's always a pleasure to see you. Of course, for those who may not know, I'm Jason Charles, the chairman of the West Indian Company Board, which is located in St. Thomas. We are the largest of the ports that bring cruise ship passengers in. We have about 5 brands that sit under our purview. So I'm happy to be here with you all and to just have a discussion regarding the industry, regarding, you know, our partnership with each other, British Virgin Islands and the US Virgin Islands. Okay, thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Reimer. I mean, it wouldn't be fair. We sat at your booth, yes. You know, we enjoyed some of the trinkets. We had a good conversation over there. Nice, yeah. But it's good that you're now at our booth, so you know, you'll see the activity that is happening here, but it all is in collaboration with what we do.
Correct.
And you have that relationship with our ports in the BVI, where you have direct dialogue in terms of where there's issues, where there's collaboration necessary, and you have a good relationship with the chair as well.
Yes. So I missed her this year, which is Miss Herbert, Miss Roxanne Herbert. So, you know, but we dialogue all the time. We have group messengers. We talk about what's going on in the industry, what may impact us. When there's ships that from the Virgin Islands that may, US Virgin Islands, that may, you know, overwhelm our ports, so we may not have room, we pick up the phone or we call to see you guys and say, hey, listen, do you have room to accommodate these ships? Because we want to make sure that you guys are right next to our neighbors. We want to make sure that you all are able to acquiesce to us and we acquiesce to you all.
Yeah, indeed. So, and we're right next door at Seatrade as well. We're just a couple booths away. So
literally a stone throw away.
The conversation highlighted a key challenge faced by both territories, managing port capacity while maintaining the tourism experience for both locals as well as visitors. As larger cruise ships continue to build, of course, both the BVI and USVI are facing pressure to develop infrastructure that can handle the influx of tourists.
Well, we're speaking destination. We're just not speaking ports, because what happens affect the islands, the territories as a whole. For instance, you speak about your ports being overwhelmed. You know, it spills over into the social aspect of your community as well. And, you know, how do your residents feel when they see this many cruise passengers on your shores? We have the same problem as well. What do you do to mitigate against that?
Well, you know, I think we've watched the industry change over the course of the years, and so we've always had to figure out ways to accommodate. But the industry is now expanding exponentially, a lot faster than our infrastructure can handle. And so we're now in the process right now, saying how can we realign? What can we be able to do to advance the transportation of people, so that folks that may come from downtown can get to Megan's Bay, and it doesn't take 30 minutes to get there, because that a window of time that they're not able to enjoy the islands. So those are the logistical challenges that we're facing.
Environmental concerns, of course, are also coming to the forefront during discussions, particularly regarding the emissions from cruise ships. While both territories have made strides in addressing these issues, officials recognize the need for continued efforts to minimize the environmental impact.
How are your citizens or residents responding to the environmental issues from the cruise ships in terms of the smoke and stuff? And it was good to learn that the ships are very conscientious as well, and they are working towards enhancing and kind of getting rid of all that emission and stuff like that with the new technology that they're using to not have the smoke coming out, and citizens being concerned that it's detrimental to their health. How are you dealing with it on your end?
So there's two ways to answer that question. First is, because we're a U.S. port, we are subjected to EPA rules. So as such, we have a baseline, a framework that we have to follow, or they have to follow when they come into our port. That's one. The second piece of it is we have a very, very I don't want to use the word restrictive, but very, very highly regulated planning and natural resources that really monitor how these ships and the consumptions and because when ships come, they want to be able to. They also want to get rid of their trash as well. So we have to look at all those environmental impacts in our community.
Up next, we have much more coming up. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Father Jesus, that line you long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of it. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, Sonny.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must stop cut front of people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man, protect you.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
No, top of power.
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Attention Anegada residents! Attention Anegada residents! CCT is coming to you! That's right! CCT will be visiting Anegada every third Wednesday of the month. Need to pay your bill? Sign up for a new service? Or have a customer service concern? CCT has got you covered! No need to leave the island. CCT is here to make staying connected easier than ever. Mark your calendars for every third Wednesday starting October 16th and visit us for all your CCT service needs. For more information, call us at 444-4444 or follow us on any of our social media pages. See you soon, Anegada!
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you all so much for sticking with us. A sewage leak outside the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital in Road Town resulted in road access being blocked on Tuesday, April 15th. Teams from the Water and Sewage and Environmental Health Departments were deployed to assess the situation and try their best to contain the issue. Reports indicated that the leak began late Monday evening with sewage spilling from a manhole near the hospital, causing water to pool and overflow onto the main road. The leak has been accompanied by a foul smell, of course, which passerbyers reported as unbearable. As of now, the extent of the sewage overflow, its potential causes, as well as any implications for the hospital operations or public health remain unclear. However, authorities have prioritized, they say, ensuring public safety by closing off access to the affected road until the situation can be resolved. Now, the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital, the BVI's main medical facility, serves as a crucial healthcare provider for the territory's residents. And speaking of sewage, while governments and stakeholders move to, and I quote, clean up and beautify the city of Road Town, a talk show is calling on them to first address the placement of the sewage system. About 2 weeks ago, on Road Town, the partnership RTP was launched, of course, which is a new public-private initiative aimed at modernizing and maintaining the territory's capital. Host of Speak Out BVI, KISHMA PENN claimed that the BVI is the only Caribbean country she knows with a sewage depot in the capital, and this must first be addressed before the cleaning up of the beautification is to take place.
For all of y'all who spend time traveling and going places throughout the world, I ever see a sewage depot in the middle of the city. I mean, them talking about beautifying Road Tongue and them saying the tourists say Road Tongue dirty, it look a certain way. But have y'all ever in the history of traveling and going to other places seen a sewage depot in the middle of the city? For who don't know what I'm talking about, the place that you dump the sewage after you had your septic tank pumped is in a holding tank right across from the Apostolic Church. I think it's named the Apostolic Faith Church. That's across from Vanderpool's, right next to. So there's a gas station, the church, and then there's a sewage depot right there. Middle of the day, sewage getting dropped. Tourists in town, sewage getting dropped. Tourists not in town, sewage getting dropped. For years, we blame the tree over by the O'Neill gas station and say the trees what was stinking. The tree gone, and that area still stink because there's a sewage depot in the middle of town. Now, while you're talking about beautifying town, one of the first things you need to do is relocate the sewage depot that you have in the middle of town.
The Lions Club of Tortola is reviving, they say, up for the final stretch of its highly anticipated Grand Car Raffle, with one lucky winner set to drive away in a brand new 2025 Hyundai Grand 10 this Easter, Monday, April 21st, 2025. The Grand Raffle will take place during the BVI Guyanese Association's kite flying event behind the admin complex on Wickham Ski, starting at 11 a.m. The Lions Club, they say, will be on site throughout the day, with the final draw set for 7 p.m. delivering an exciting close to a day filled with family fun as well as community spirit. They said, and I quote, "This is more than just a fundraiser. It's about bringing the community together and supporting the impactful service projects that Lions Club of Tortola has been dedicated to for over 53 years. Line President Miss Amaral Newton stated, and I quote, "Every ticket sold helps us to serve more families, youths, and seniors across the BVI. Now, the vehicle currently on display at Walmart supermarket has generated island-wide excitement, they say, over the past months, with Lions Club members and outlet tickets holders actively selling tickets at various locations. Tickets are still available for only $10 each or $100 for 10 chances to win. Proceeds from the raffle will be directly supported locally in projects such as the club's upcoming Young Men's Summit, a new initiative aimed at empowering and mentoring young males within the Virgin Islands. Tickets are also available from any Lions Club member, online or at Speedy's Ice Mart, the Boys gas station, and Tag. The Lions Club of Tortola proudly says they acknowledge the support of quite a number of generous supporters, outlets, and sponsors without whom this event would not be possible. They are Newton Construction, Ice Mart, Tortola Auto Group, Nagico Insurance, Rotary Club of Central Tortola, Hindu's Hideout, Ocean Spa, New Horizon Ferry Services, Sterling Compliance Limited, Pet Planet VI, Vanderpool Enterprises, STO Enterprises, KAD Pool Services, Samuel Richardson & Co., Digicel, Driftwood Spa, One Mart Supermarket, Roadtown Wholesale, Bobby's Marketplace, Roundabout Gas Station, The Bookshelf, Paint Factory, the BVI Guyanese Association, and TravelWise. Now, for those who may not know, the Lions Club of Tortola is a member of Lions Club International, the world's largest service organization. The club, they say, are committed to supporting youth, promoting health and wellness, providing relief in times of crisis, and uplifting the most vulnerable within our communities. Viewers, that is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at tweet4media.com, as well as on our WhatsApp channel for daily updates. We're also available on Facebook at Tweet4Media and Tweet4BVI on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. Have a safe and enjoyable evening. A happy Wednesday's wish to all. Goodbye.